today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these fun, wiggly stripes in Procreate. I think stripe patterns are an essential for surface pattern designers and work well as a standalone print or as a supporting pattern in a collection. To start, we're going to create a new canvas in Procreate at 12 by 12 inches and 300 dpi. Now we're going to go straight up to the spanner, toggle Drawing Guide on and tap Edit Drawing Guide. Change the grid size to 1.5 inches and you can see that this creates an 8 by 8 guide on the canvas. Now it's time to draw in the stripes using any brush you'd like. We're going to draw 4 stripes across the canvas, and the key thing is to keep each outline roughly in the middle point between each guideline. These are going to be wobbly hand-drawn stripes, so you don't need to draw a straight line, you can make it as wonky as you like. You can fill the stripe in with a fill tool in Procreate, but if you've used a textured brush like I have, I'd recommend filling it in by hand so you keep the texture. You can see how the guideline comes right through the middle of the stripe here. Don't worry about the top and bottom parts where it goes off the canvas, we're going to fix the repeat lines later on in the process. Now finish drawing in the 3 remaining stripes. You could either choose 4 different colours, 1 colour for all the stripes, or alternate between 2 colours. When you've finished, it's time to make this into a seamless repeat. If they're not already, make sure all the stripes are on the same layer. And we're going to make some temporary markers in the top left and bottom right hand corner to ensure the whole canvas is selected when we do the next step. Duplicate this layer 3 more times so you have 4 identical layers. Now select the first one and make sure snapping and magnetics are both on and move it up to a corner. Move each of the layers to a corner, making sure they snap into place. The orange markers should appear when they're in the right place. When you have finished, you will notice that all the stripes have changed places and you will have a broken line across the middle of the canvas, as well as your temporary markers in the centre. Firstly, merge the 4 layers into one again and rub out the temporary markers in the middle. Now all that's left to do is fix the obvious repeat line that you can see across the centre. Find the brush you were using and select the colour of each stripe by holding down a finger on the colour and then simply redraw the middle of the line so it becomes seamless. I would suggest that on one side of the stripe you add colour and on the other side you use the eraser to create a smooth line so the lines don't become bulky in the middle. Alternatively, you could rub out the middle part entirely and redraw it. Remember, it's supposed to look hand-drawn and imperfect, so embrace the wonkiness of it. We're not necessarily aiming for perfection. When you're happy, you can add a background colour if you like on a separate layer underneath. And I'm just going to show you one more trick before we scale it down to see how it looks. When I've finished a pattern like this, I often like to add a little bit of extra texture just to give it some depth and interest. This is a totally optional step, but from my camera roll I'm going to add a speckle texture over the top of the stripes to add to the fun and playfulness of the pattern. I'm going to recolour it and bring down the opacity a little bit. This texture overlay is from my Texture Overlays pack and is already totally seamless, so you can just import it from your camera roll onto a finished pattern and not worry about any broken repeat lines. I'll put a link to these textures in the description box below if you'd like to check them out. To scale down your pattern and check the repeat, I would duplicate the whole canvas to preserve the original. Merge the layers together and duplicate so you have 4 layers. With snapping and magnetics on, scale each one down to a corner, and you can see that we have fun, wiggly stripes in perfect repeat. I hope you feel inspired to have a go at this pattern. I can't wait to see what you create.